The Gundam TCG is Bandai's newest hit card game, and it is taking the industry by storm with sold-out tournaments, massively desirable chase cards, and more players flooding into the game with each passing day. But for those who have never played this game before, how do you sit down and start playing with the cards? Today at the TCG HQ channel, we're going to break down what makes this game tick and everything you need to know in order to play it. I'm Nick with TCG HQ, and this is everything you need to know about the Gundam trading card game. In the Gundam card game, your goal is to deal combat damage to your opponent after defeating all of their shields. In order to do this, you'll need a 50-card main deck, a 10-card resource deck, token cards, and damage counters. Your 50-card deck is what you'll primarily be using to do battle with your opponent. This can consist of every type of card in the Gundam card game that are not tokens or resource cards. There are 4 types of cards that can be used in your main deck: units, pilots, commands, and bases. Units are the primary cards you'll be using to attack your opponent's shields. As you can see, these cards have a level in the top left with a cost underneath that. The level refers to how many resources you must have on the board to play them, and the cost is how many resources you must rest in order to pay for it. These numbers are all printed on every Gundam card game and are the level and costs for each card. More on this later. On units specifically, you'll notice the border color that denotes the color of the unit, its effect box in the bottom half of the card, its factions near the bottom, and its pilot requirement to link below that if it has one. Finally, in the bottom right, you'll see its AP on the left and its HP on the right. Pilots work in unison with your units by attaching themselves to an open unit when you play them. The numbers in the bottom right-hand corner of the card refers to how much they modulate the unit they're piloting, with the left number being an AP increase and the right number being an HP increase. You'll find the pilot's factions just below its name and its effects below that, if any. Commands are like spells in other TCGs. These cards have one-time effects that can be used to impact the game state, and once used, they're sent to the trash. Note, some command cards can also be played as pilots and will have pilot text on the bottom of the card denoting that. And finally, we have bases, the 4th kind of card in this game. These are cards that protect your shield area, acting as a powered-up shield that goes in the base area and has its own effects, as well as more HP than a regular shield in most instances. You play these like you would any other card, but instead of putting them in your play area, they go to the top of your shield area in the base zone. Now that you know all the card types that can go in your deck, let's go over the last few deck building rules this game has. There are 4 card colors currently in the Gundam TCG: white, green, red, and blue. Each color has their own strategies, strengths, and weaknesses, and in this game, you're allowed to play with up to 2 colors in your deck. Each 50-card deck in the Gundam card game may have up to 4 copies of a card with the same card number and follow the 2-color rule. Finally, you'll need your 10 resource card deck, which comes standard in every starter deck in this game. Today, we'll be playing with the Gundam starter deck Heroic Beginnings, a white-blue starter deck featuring iconic Gundam characters and pilots. Buying a starter deck from your local game store like Cards HQ is a great way to get started playing, and we've set this up so that you can follow along with your own starter deck at home. In a starter deck, you'll receive a 50-card deck, a 10-card resource deck, some damage counters, some token cards, and an instructional booklet that also doubles as a playmat. Along with this, you'll receive a bonus promo pack with a starter deck card that's foiled out, different from what you'll receive in the deck more than likely. There is a chance your deck will be all foiled, but most of the time the only foils you get will be the front cards in the deck like this one here, as well as your bonus promo card. Go ahead and give this an open. We'll open ours later, but go ahead and do yours now. Enjoy it, the cards inside look sick. Now, let's go ahead and set up your play space and get ready to dive into the game. First, shuffle your 50-card deck and place it in the deck area in the top right. Note that the trash, or the discard, is directly below that in your play space. Place your 10-card resource deck in the bottom left corner of your play area, leaving enough space for your shields. Now, decide who goes first between you and your opponent and draw 5 cards to determine your starting hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, we need one more, and 5. Go ahead and take a look at your starting hand and make sure you have at least one low-level, low-cost card that you can play, preferably a unit. If you don't, you are allowed 1 mulligan in this game, starting with player 1 or the person going first. For this video's purposes, we are going first. If you choose to mulligan, you're going to return your hand to the bottom of your deck, then draw 5 new cards. After that, your deck is then reshuffled. Once mulligans are resolved, you then place the top 6 cards from the top of your deck to the shield area, 1 card at a time, starting nearest to you and overlapping them like so. I'll demonstrate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Finally, after you do all of that, place an EX base token into your base area on top of your last shield. You should have received one of these cards in your starter deck as well. This will act as your first base, which is a protector for all of your other shields. Since we are going first, we will not get any bonus resources. However, the person going second will always take an EX resource card, also available in all starter decks, from their deck and place it into the resource zone. This is effectively a token resource that may be used one time, and it counts for levels when determining if you can play a card too. Alright, now we're ready to play. The turn progression in the Gundam card game is like so. The first step is the start phase. This is where you set all rested or tapped cards that are horizontal to active or vertical in your play space. The second phase is the draw phase. It's in the name. You draw a card. The third phase is the resource phase. You draw 1 card from your resource deck and place it into the resource area, like so. And then fourth is the main phase. This will be the majority of your gameplay time playing the Gundam card game. This is where you play cards, pair pilots, play command cards with main timing and attack. And 5, finally, the end phase. This is when you allow for an action step, we'll get to that in a minute, resolve any effects that are activated at the end of the turn, discard down to 10 cards in your hand, as that is the hand limit in this game, and end temporary effects that were activated during the turn. After this, the turn passes to the next player. Let's take a look at the 6 cards we have in our hand, the 5 cards that we drew for our opening hand, as well as the 6th card we just drew for the turn. We have Demi Trainer, GM, White Base, Zort, Gundam RX-78-2, and the card we just drew, Unforeseen Incident. Obviously, don't show your opponent your cards. However, for the sake of a demonstration, we wanted to go ahead and take a look at all of them in totality so that we can see what we can do. This is a good opening hand, as it lets us play a lot of cards over the early turns of the game, and since we'll be drawing 1 card a turn minimum, that's more options for us to play. Since we only have 1 resource available to us, that means we can only play level 1 cards that cost 1. Fortunately, our Demi Trainer fits the bill. We'll go ahead and pick up the rest of our cards and put them back in our hand. We will rest the resource card that we have available to us and play out the Demi Trainer. Note, regular units cannot attack the turn they're played, and no more than 6 units can be on your board at any time in the battle area where you play your units. Since we've done everything we can do this turn, we'll move to the end of the turn, the end phase, which is a good opportunity to talk about the action step in this game. It triggers during combat and during the end phase of each player's turn. The action step is a mechanic in the game in which each player has an opportunity to activate cards and interact with each other's board state. During the combat action step, the defending player gets to play a card or activate an effect with action timing, like this Unforeseen Incident card here. It has an action effect which can be used during the action step when it's your opportunity to play a card. Once both players have passed the opportunity to play a card, this action step ends. During the combat phase, this is going to begin with the defending player, followed by the attacking player until they both passed, and during the end phase action step, it's the opposing player, then the turn player, and so on and so forth until both players have passed. Now, our opponent gets an opportunity to play, and they'll use their EX resource to play a card, which means the EX resource goes away, and they're left with only 1 resource. Remember, the EX resource is always provided to the second player, not the first, and once it's used, it's gone and no longer counts for levels, nor can it be used again. Once play passes back over to us, we will start our turn, draw a card, and it looks like we hit a Muro Ray, a pilot that fulfills the link condition of another card in our hand. More on that in a little bit. After we draw, we'll put another resource card into our resource zone from the resource deck, like so. We now have 2 to work with. This means we can play cards that are at level 2 or lower with a cost of 2 or less. We'll rest our 2 resources like so, turning them sideways, and play out our Zort card. This Zort card has the blocker keyword, which we'll go over in a little bit, much like the Demi Trainer. Effectively, this means it can manipulate combat tricks and let you avoid getting attacked more often, protecting your shields and your base. Since we have exhausted both of our resources for the turn, we don't have any more cards to play. However, we do have a Demi Trainer that's been out on the field for a turn, so he can make an attack. Let's show you guys what that action is. In the Gundam card game, you can take the attack action by resting the unit you wish to attack with and declaring an attack target. You may select either an opponent's rested unit or attack your opponent directly. We'll go ahead and rest the demi-trainer like so. For demonstration purposes, we've gone ahead and put one of our opponent's GM units here so that we can go over what a unit attacking another unit looks like. In order for the GM to be attacked, it has to be rested, one of the core rules of the game, and therefore it's a valid attack target for our demi-trainer if we are so inclined. When you attack one of your opponent's rested units, each unit will deal damage to each other equal to their AP, as you can see here. So if our demi-trainer was attacking this unit, it would deal 1 damage to them, and we'd take an equal amount of the other unit's AP right back. However, based on the board state we've already established, our opponent doesn't have a unit that we can attack, so we'll go ahead and declare the attack target as our opponent. Before the combat damage is applied in either of the instances of attacking an opponent's rested unit or attacking them directly, the defending player may choose to block with a unit that has the blocker keyword, as our units do. As you see on several of our cards, we have that keyword, but our opponent's units do not. Therefore, the attack is going to go through and we'll move to the next step. After the block step passes, we move into the action step where the defending player has an opportunity to play a card or activate an effect with action timing like we already talked about, followed by us having a window to do the same. Neither of us will play a card here though, so we'll move on. Demi-trainer has 1 AP, so we'll deal 1 damage to the highest card in their shield area, which would be their EX base. In this instance, we would be dealing 1 damage to it, and the EX base inherently has 3, so we'll need to deal 2 more before it's defeated. Whenever this is defeated, any further damage will be dealt to shields that are below it in order. After that, regular shields are treated as having 1 HP, and any amount of damage dealt to the shield area when the base zone is empty only defeats 1 shield. Remember, the main win condition of the game is to deal damage to your opponent in any amount when they don't have a base or any shields. The other win condition is when they have no cards in their deck. After we do all of this, we'll pass to our opponent, they'll take a turn, and they'll take out our demi-trainer with a unit that they've played. For the purposes of this video, it doesn't matter what the unit was, but our demi-trainer will die, and whenever a unit is defeated, it goes to the trash. Okay, so now the turn has been passed back to us. We'll draw our card for turn. Looks like it's going to be a Kai's Resolve. We'll fix up our deck here. Now, we'll restand our resources like so, and then give ourselves a third one so that we have 3 resources to work with. Hopefully by now, you're starting to get a solid understanding of how to play the game, and in order to continue to show you guys how the Gundam TCG works, we're going to go over the cadence of a couple more really important actions that happen in this game that can really swing the game in your favor. We have 2 cards that we can play in unison in our hand that will let us do something incredibly powerful in this game, pairing a pilot with a unit. Our GM unit is fairly unassuming, being just a 2 AP, 2 HP with no effects. But if we put a pilot card on it, we can make our unit even better. We'll go ahead and rest one of our resources like so to play out the GM unit to our battle area. Then we'll take the Kai's Resolve card that we just drew, which can function as either a command or a pilot, and play it by paying 1 resource. So that's 2 total resources exhausted. And then we take the Kai's Resolve card and turn it into the Kai Shiden pilot and put it underneath the GM, pairing it with the unit. Note, there may only be 1 pilot attached to a unit at any given time, and wherever that unit goes, the pilot follows. So if it's returned to your hand or sent to the trash, the unit and the pilot both go there. Kai will turn the GM into a 3 AP unit, which will be enough to apply plenty of pressure to our opponent. We don't have anything else we want to play, and our Zawart can only attack other units, so we're going to go ahead and keep him standing up so that in case anything gets played that we want to deal with, we can do that. We're finally starting to make some progress in defeating our opponent with a board like this, and going into our 4 resource turn, we have a huge play that we want to do in our hands already. Let's draw our card and take a look at the level 4 Gundam that we have in our hand. This level 4 Gundam, RX-78-2, is one of our most powerful cards in our deck, with 3 AP and 4 HP. Along with this, it has Repair 2, a keyword that means it heals 2 damage off itself at the end of our turn, and during the turn it's paired with a pilot, all of our units hit for 1 more AP. The important detail, however, is the link requirement here at the bottom. Amuro Ray. We already covered putting a pilot on a unit, But if on the turn you play the unit, the pilot it's paired with meets the link requirement printed at the bottom of the card, that means on the turn the unit is played, you can attack immediately. By this time, we'll have our 3 resources that we already have readied, and then we'll have 1 more available to us, meaning we're at level 4 and have 4 resources to play with. We'll go ahead and pay 3 resources here to play the Gundam RX 782 to our battle arena. It's getting pretty crowded over here. Then we'll go ahead and pay 1 resource and find the Amuro Ray card in our hand and play it onto the Gundam. Note that Amuro Ray is a level 4 card, but it only costs 1, meaning we have enough resources to play both of these cards. Once we've paid our 1, Amuro Ray will be paired with the Gundam, and because his link requirement is met, Amuro Ray will make the Gundam and himself linked together. This is an incredibly powerful play. Our Gundam is now a 5/5 attacker, and combining this with our other units on board, we have a total of 11 AP that we can use to attack our opponent and their units over the next several turns. When we go to attack with our GM, we'll exhaust it, taking out our opponent's EX base, and then we'll attack with our Gundam because we're able to do that immediately thanks to the link, taking out yet another shield. Note, when a shield card is destroyed, you'll flip it over from the shield area to see if it has a burst effect. Some cards in this game have burst effects that activate when they're destroyed as shields, including activating them or adding them to your hand. It's a good way to swing the game either way, and something to look out for when you're building your deck. With all of these steps of the game covered, this cadence will make up the vast majority of what you'll be doing when you're playing the Gundam TCG. As you explore more strategies and new ways to play, I hope you can come back to this video for clarification on everything you might need to know, and as always, you can check out cardshq.com for all of your Gundam starter deck, booster box, and supplies needs. Let's give our pack an opening now and see what we get. As I said at the start of the video, we have a bonus pack from the Heroic Beginnings deck, and I have no idea what comes in this pack other than it's going to be one of the cards in this deck, foiled out and in full art. This is exclusive to every starter deck, and any of the starter decks that you open from Cards HQ or elsewhere will have one of these packs. Let's see what we pull. All right, we're giving it a quick opening, just sliding the plastic open. Live reaction. And let's see what it is. Here we go. All right, this is actually a really cool one. This is the Gundam Aerial, the Permit Score 6. This is one of the face cards of this deck. One of the biggest hits you can possibly get from this pack. Super exciting. Just take a look at the foiling here. That is a gorgeous, gorgeous card. Wow, all right. Normally when you open those, you get a common foil, which was going to be exciting, but I was not expecting something that crazy. That is a super cool hit from one of the coolest starter decks in this game. All things considered, that was a really great way to end this video. I hope this was informative for you, and if I missed anything, please let me know in the comments below to help other players. And if you're looking for Gundam gameplay, a few weeks ago, we made a video called Everything You Need to Know About the Gundam Card Game, where you can see me and my coworker Steven stumble through our first game before I knew how to play the game better. We love making these learn to play videos, and more are soon to come for other games as well. Now you know everything you need to know about the Gundam card game. I'm Nick with TCG HQ, and I'll see you next time.